Hi, I'm Kimberly DePersia, the artistic director of All the Line Studio and Incubator. And this July on the 23rd, we're having our Next Step Screenplay Series short scene night. And this is 12 different scripts from 12 different screenplays and featuring 12 different writers. So we're really excited for this event. And this is a series of writer interviews that we're releasing to give you an idea of what's in store for the 23rd. So I have Andrew Robinson, who is here. He wrote Scarlett's Secret. So welcome, Andrew.
Hello, good to be here.
Great. So tell us a little bit about the premise of Scarlett's Secret.
Well, it's fairly simple and straightforward. I mean, it's the story of a young married couple. The husband's a police detective, and the wife is kind of just a average lady, but she has a secret. She has a fetish, and she's very torn as to revealing it. She's very embarrassed by it, not sure, should she tell her husband about it? And over the course of the story, you see her dealing with, I mean, going to a club to indulge herself, um, meeting with people, talking to other people. And at the same time, her husband is dealing with a coworker who is a friend, but one of those friends where you can rib each other and understand that you're just playing around. And then ultimately he uses his detective skills on his his marital situation to figure out what's going on and is accepting of her, which is so you kind of get your classic happy ending with a kind of kinky side to it.
That kind of that kind of happy ending. Um,
Yeah.
that's so fun. I really like the premise, and I like how you've mixed it, with detective versus like this interpersonal story. What was your inspiration for writing this? Um,
Well, actually, I got a um, I'm a member of several streaming services, for watching movies, television, or whatever. And as with a lot of them, when you watch something, they'll have a recommend list based on, well, you watched this, so we think you're like that. So my wife and I, we've watched a whole bunch of these typical rom-coms and stuff. And then this movie came up on the rom-com list called The Seventh Secret. And I'm like, seventh, okay, what's that? So I watched it one night, and the opening narration by the wife explains that there's something like, I don't know, 10 or 12 secrets that if you keep these, they can damage a relationship. And the seventh, that's the title, is concealing a fetish. And that's what she's doing. And so I watched the movie, and it's almost like a kind of like I mentioned in the script. There's a scene there where 50 Shades Light, that's essentially what it is. And I mean, because there have been movies like 50 Shades of Grey, like what's that other one? A Secretary, the whole dominant submissive type scenario. This was along those lines, and while I thought it was okay, I was like, oh, geez, the husband, I mean, he's being portrayed as pretty much just totally oblivious, just everything just goes right by. He does not pick up on any clues. And the thing is, he's a district attorney, for God's sakes. I mean, come on, dude. You're supposed to, put two and two together and come up with a conclusion. And so I just felt he was weak. There's a whole sub story of where the mother-in-law is mean to her, and I'm like, really? You're going with that stereotype? The mean mother? Come on. What's next? A wicked stepmother? I mean, come on. And so I'm just like, no, it doesn't work. And me being a writer, I did the classic, well, I could do better than that in an hour. And now, granted, theirs was a feature film. Mine's, geez, what is it? Only about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. So, yeah, a couple hours I was able to do at least the first draft. But as I say, the idea is the woman struggling with, geez, I just feel so weird having that, fetish. But the husband not being a total airhead. I mean, granted, as I said, his coworker does pick on him and rib him all the time, but ultimately, yeah, he does put the clues together. And of course, considering the kind of solving a mystery aspect to it, I figured, hmm, you know what? Rather than a district attorney, let's make him a police detective because then at least he's used to the idea of solving clues. Although, again, in the script, in the final scene when they're together, he says, "Well, I never expected to use my detective skills on my own, relationship." Type thing. But he does that, and over the course of the script, I do that exact thing. Leave these little tiny clues where he has this, picks up a pillow and looks at it, and it's like, why was it? Oh well, yeah. And then,
Mhm.
but then later he starts to put them together, and you can hopefully, you get a good actor, you can see the wheels turning. That like,
Mhm.
yeah, wait a minute, that and that come together with what she said and what I learned from this. It's like, and then the aha moment.
Mhm.
So I
I
hope I've
love that.
accomplished that.
Yeah, I love all of that. I love watching something and being like, I can do better than that. And then, having this kind of deeper meaning about like secrets in a relationship and like what could be damaging. So to kind of make light of it through this funny tale, which is very humorous. So since this scene that we're going to be seeing on the 23rd is taken out of context, right? We're not seeing the whole screenplay. Is there anything that the audience should know before going into it? Anything that will help them understand, to set the scene a little bit more? I mean, you've done a really good job of talking about the screenplay, but is there anything else that they should know?
Yes, I would say to understand. I mean, Steve kind of makes it clear when he comes into Amy's office that he's had a wild night previously with his wife, um, and he's recovering. As he says, to the bite mark show, type thing. But to understand that in the previous scene, once again, the wife tried desperately, to talk to him about it, couldn't do it. Just she chickened out. She wasn't able to do it. Later that night, she is essentially scolding herself. you know, I mean, you could also, self-flagellation almost. Although no whips, no. Um, but just she's just yelling at herself, punishing herself, and she gets worked up into this incredible frenzy that she's practically feral. I mean, I can say that in the script. The bedroom door bursts open, and she's standing there, and the light behind her. And Steve's like, "Scarlett, is that you? It better be you, or I'm a dead man." And she's very funny, you know. Take me, just pummels. And again, you get the right cast and you stage it right, it could truly be hilarious of this little woman diving into a bed on top of her husband, and just ripping the sheets to shreds as she just forcefully takes him. You know, so so they've had this incredibly wild night, and now the next scene is he's like coming in the morning like, oh my God, what hit me last night? A freight train, or is he? I think the line is Hurricane Scarlett. you know. So you can understand that this is where he's coming from, and then of course Amy, being the good bud that she is, just has to rib him about it. Yeah, come on, details. I gotta hear. You know.
I love that. That is
Yeah.
such a picture to paint before people watch the scene. It's like that visual that you just painted of that night before is amazing. So wow. Thank you so much, Andrew, for joining us on this. And I know I'm if I hadn't already, been aware and read and seen some of your scenes and work, I would be so intrigued. So I'm sure this audience that's listening is like, oh my gosh, I have to see this. So thank you so much for joining us, and for everyone tuning in, July 23rd, Aloma Cinema Grill. We have tickets available, so check our website, and we hope to see you there.